Is this the best e-bike on the market in a moped or motorcycle style? I think it is. You'll see the reasons why when you watch the rest of this video. This moped slash motorcycle style e-bike is manufactured by a company that goes by the name Ride1Up. The model is Rev 1, that's REVV1, that's the model. I researched many brands before deciding on purchasing this one. I wanted to purchase an e-bike that looked as much like a motorcycle as possible. Some of the moped style e-bikes had an open top, which back in the days would look like a girl's bicycle, and I didn't want that look, so I was researching electric bikes that looked like a motorcycle style. And this, as well as several others, were among the different brands that I looked at. I looked at Super 73, Aerial Rider, Juiced, Rad, etc. But there were shortcomings in a lot of the other ones. First of all, this e-bike has a 750 watt Bafang motor, which means that it should be legal in all states. And I did not want to purchase an e-bike that exceeded that wattage, because then you'd be riding an e-bike illegally on the streets, and you don't need those problems. This is the full suspension model. There is a hardtail model. The hardtail model goes for $1,895. This one is the full suspension model, which means it has suspension front and rear, which goes for $2,395. And shipping is included. But there is tax on top of that also, keep in mind. This bike has many features that other bikes offered for around the same price, and even more so, don't even have. I'm going to go into the features right now. First of all, you're looking at the bike the way it came, with the exception of the mirrors. The mirrors were added later. I purchased them from Amazon. Those are Michow mirrors, and I'm very happy with them. They pretty much stay in position. I can see everything behind me, and my arms or body does not block my view, and they're very adjustable. I did not want to get the mirrors that attach onto the end of the handlebars, because I don't think that they look as nice, but then again, that's a matter of opinion. So, to go over the features of this bike, it has alloy wheels, so you don't have to worry about tightening loosened spokes or replacing broken spokes. It has hardened alloy fenders. These are full-fledged fenders, meaning that they cover the area of the tire that will, for the most part, keep any liquid from being thrown up onto you if you happen to be riding into a puddle, or if you're riding when it's raining outside. The tires are CST Scout e-moped tires. These are the tires that I prefer, the type of tires, because they are considered all-surface tires, but they are basically road tires. They're not made to ride in the dirt or off-road. And since I don't plan to do much riding off-road, if any at all, these would be a better fit for me. A lot of the other e-bikes had off-road tires on them, knobby tires, and I really didn't want that, because these will grip better on the roads and sidewalks. This system is a 52 volt system. This Bafang 750 watt motor is a 52 volt motor. The battery is a 52 volt 22 amp Samsung battery. The front suspension is a 120 millimeter double crown fork, and the rear suspension is an air pressure adjustable rear suspension. Speaking of batteries, you can mount a second battery on top of the controller box that you see, which is the bottom black box that you're looking at. It's not electrically synced with the first battery, so when the first battery on top becomes depleted, you can swap it out though. You can remove the top battery and take the bottom battery, which is hopefully charged, and put it on the top, and then you've got a new battery, a newly charged battery, ready to go. This bike has front and rear lights, has a front headlight, which has 3 positions: a daytime running light, which lights up the circular outside of the headlight. Then it has a regular headlight, low beam, that would be, and it also has a high beam. It has the tail light, which also acts as a brake light when you squeeze either of the brake handles. It also has turn signals, front and rear. It has a right-hand half-twist throttle. The weight capacity is 350 pounds. The seat height, although it's listed as 33 inches, it does not seem that tall to me. I'm not that tall. I'm 5'6", and I don't have any problem touching the floor. I'll give you a look of the bike from all angles. And this particular color, I believe the color's name is Sandstrom, but I'm not exactly sure on that. Anyway, this particular color to me seems to be nicer than the other colors, because the other colors are more of a matte finish and they're very dark, and they just don't seem to have as much character as this color. But of course, that's your own personal preference, whatever you might like. And if you decide to purchase this bike, I think you'll find that the customer service that you get from Ride1Up is very good. Whenever I call them, I usually don't have to wait too long, and you can call them, unlike some other companies that you cannot call on a telephone. You have to send them an email to get through to them. So I like the fact that I can actually speak to somebody, because you may encounter some problems, who knows, that you would need to speak to somebody about, rather than trying to describe the problem to them through an email. I have not had any problems with this so far. I've only gotten about 22 miles on it, but I haven't seen on the internet that people had many problems with this particular model. One problem they had in the past was the chain was too tight and was causing a problem with the back wheel. But my understanding from Ride1Up is that the chain issue has been resolved. They put a longer chain on there. As of June of 2023, any bikes that were purchased after that should not have the problem, because it has been corrected since then. I purchased mine in September of 2023, and like I said, although I've put only 22 miles on it, I have not had a problem with the chain at all, and I don't expect to have a problem with it. So far as accessories are concerned, you can purchase an extra battery. They're at the present time, $550. I know some other company wants to charge you $995 for an extra battery. I won't name the name of that company, but it's a pretty popular company that has a big following on the internet, and I think that that's very overpriced, and I would not buy an extra battery for that price. But this is a very good battery. It's a Bafang battery, and it's, like I said, 52 volts and 20 amps. So for $550, that's a pretty good deal, I would say. You can also order a rear rack. Although they're on back order, they should be in. And you can add rear pegs, and you should be able to fit a second person on that seat if you wanted to. And that's about all that I can say. Oh, yes, hydraulic brakes, front and rear. Hydraulic brakes. And one thing I would suggest is if you don't plan on pedaling much with the bike, that you keep the PAS level in 0, because if you keep it any higher than 0, anytime you pedal even a little bit, you will get acceleration which you may not expect. So if you plan to use the throttle only, then you may want to keep the PAS level in 0. And also, they mention in the manual, and I think it's a good idea, before you get on or off the bike, make sure that it is shut off. Because if you happen to lean on the twist throttle, it will take off, as any bike would. So always make sure that you have the bike in the off position, the electronics, before you get on or off the bike. Also, one other thing is the display is a very nice display, very easily readable in daylight or at nighttime, and it's fairly large compared to some of the competitors. So good luck with your search for the perfect e-bike, but for me, I think this is the perfect one. It looks more like a motorcycle than most of the other moped style e-bikes on the market, and I like everything about it. Good luck.